What is up, y'all? Eddie Hates Anime here. This video is so goddamn late. I finished Persona 3 Reload months ago. Very shortly after the game came out. Before I even finished P1, and I already made that video. Or at least the first part of Persona 1. Snow Queen Quest video soon, by the way. That aside, I am here talking about it now. So, be grateful or something. I don't know. Subscribe if you're new. Let's get into it. Let me start off by saying, very controversial, by the way. We're getting right into it. Reload is now my favorite version of the game, and the one that I'll recommend most to new players. Crucify me. I do have my reasons. I'll get more into this later in the more specifics and whatnot, because this is kind of a lot of comparisons, because obviously I'm going to compare it to FES since that's the version I played. Not as much Portable or the original, because I didn't play either of those yet. But, it's a big thing, because obviously you want the remake to be as good, or if not better than the original. So it's just an easy comparison that's going to happen. I think there are so many more opportunities for characters getting fleshed out. Obviously the game is gorgeous. The original is too. A lot of the things here, it's like, it's good as a new game, but I also think it's very good as like a recreation of the original. Even if it's not like most of the things in here are like way better than FES, it's just like the fact of, I think they're great here too. Because while I say I would recommend this version, it's not like FES is all of a sudden not a good game. It's still fucking peak. And I could totally understand why you'd like that more than this one. Now, Portable, I don't understand personally, but hey, if it's your preference, it's your preference. And speaking of Portable, obviously for legal accessibility, until now, Portable was easiest to get unless you had a PS2. So, that's another plus for Reload. You get that. Now, if you remember the Straw Hats, a pirate, then you could probably just play FES to the original that way if you don't have a PS2 already. I definitely didn't play it that way. But back to my reasoning. I just feel like the story additions to the game, as well as the many quality of life improvements, just make it feel a bit more beginner friendly to me. It's also an easier game. Now, once again, can't speak for Portable, but that's going to be the story of this video. Obviously, take everything I say here with a grain of salt, because you can only experience this story for the first time one time, and I already did that with FES, so I can't see Reload from the eyes of a beginner. I can only see it as from the eyes of someone who's already beat Persona 3, specifically the third one, the one after number 2. I'm just saying that it's what I would recommend to people who aren't already into Persona, because I feel the mainstream appeal is higher. Now, I will say this. I still think they could have added more new stuff, story specifically, because I'm not gonna spoil for like a while in this game. I'll tell you specifically when. This might not make sense if you haven't played the game, but if you have played, you'll know what I'm talking about here. But in terms of the actual plot, not like the extra hanging out stuff and all that stuff, a lot of it is added at the point of the game where it gets quote unquote good already. Now, I think Persona 3 is good from the start, especially now that I'm a fan of it. But I do remember when I first played FES, and I know for a lot of people, up until shit got real, it was kind of just, like, this is the best Persona game to y'all? I kind of felt like that when I was playing it. Obviously, now that I finished, I understand. I see the vision. I can totally see why this would be someone's top Persona game. But they don't really change that here. The story, like, it's all pretty much the same in the big, overarching, extra scene stuff. A lot of the big stuff is added later. Now, do I think this makes the game any worse? Obviously not. I just feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity, because I feel like, once again, from that first time playing perspective, they're going to have that same experience. For me, this time, it wasn't as bad, because I fucking love P3 now. So I didn't feel it. So I don't know if you'll feel it or not. I'm just saying that they didn't really add anything in the beginning few months or whatever. But that's fine. That is fine. I just wanted to mention it, because that's where I thought, honestly, was going to get changed the most, and it just didn't. But it's also been a while since I played P3, and like I said, a few months ago, I beat Reload, so maybe it's more different than I'm remembering, and I'm wrong, which could totally be the case. I'll also add that there are a bunch of scenes that I feel make up for it. For example, the extra social links, I'm putting quotes because it's not actually new social links, but stuff like, they're pretty much social links just without the it's not P5, without being a social link in name. Like, there's an overarching story that's optional. But even outside of like the really serious ones, like Shinjiro's really cool one, I really loved that little extra story. You get a lot of extra hangout stuff in the house, like cooking, planting seeds on top of the house, watching TV with your dog. Shit like that, which it just makes you feel like the cast is a lot closer in this version. I know a lot of people's complaints is that, like, especially P4 dick writers, when they're comparing it, it's like, they feel like friends. Everyone in P3 hates each other. Which, like, I kind of understand the sentiment of, like, they feel more like coworkers. I don't hold that against P3 because it's just the type of story it is. But in this version, they do feel a lot closer, a lot faster, I feel like. But once again, could just be the rose-tinted goggles of, like, I've already played the game story-wise, so maybe I just see it different this time. But yeah, the biggest additions were the new Strega scenes for me. The new Strega scenes are definitely my favorite addition. My biggest problem with P3 has always been their extremely minimal presence for who are supposed to be the main antagonists. I know they're not the final boss, but we can call them the main antagonist, right? Or the main antagonist group or whatever. The fucking Akatsuki, the Phantom Troop, you know? If you know what I mean. If not, I don't know. You guys know what I mean, right? I don't know. But I really love all the extra scenes with them and stuff. There's nice little bits there. And also, even in battle, they're treated like we are. Like, they're Persona users like us. So it makes sense that they get the same cool scenes, like passing the baton to each other. Hell, Takia even had Thurgi in the end, or however you say it. Thurgi? I think that's how you say it. You know, shit like that. I mean, you got to fight alongside Takia in one scene. That was really fucking cool. That was my favorite one. I'm not trying to spoil too much here. When I get into the biggest spoiler, I will mention it. But anything up until then, you know what I mean. Unless you haven't played, then you don't know what I mean. But I'll warn you. I'm not going to really spoil anything, so don't worry. But while we are here, let's talk about the gameplay. As I mentioned earlier, one of my favorite things about Reload is updating the gameplay to match this new era of Persona. You can actually control your party. Thurgi is a thing. Backtracking, I know you can control your party in Portable, I think. I didn't play it, but still cool for me. Thurgi was a cool-ass concept. I always love any game where you can build towards an ultimate attack by doing things. And I like how they each have to do different things. It's not just, like, attacking. I think one of them was, like, you gotta heal or some shit. One of them... like attack, I don't know. And I like how the main character, it incorporated that like mixed spell cards things from P3 originally, like having Jack Frost and Pyro Jack, and they do that thing together. But in this game, that's just a Thurgi. And I loved how you could get multiple of them. That was really fucking cool. And yeah, I don't know. Everyone's was really cool. I keep saying the word cool, but I don't know how else to explain it. Like, it was just a fucking badass moment when you get to use them. And it shows a lot of personality for their fighting styles. Because obviously in the game, you just see the same exact, you know, Persona, And this one, you get to see the specific way, like, okay, Junpei trips, haha, quirky, goofy. Yukari's doing this. Mitsuru's being a bad bitch, looking at you like, You know, Akihiko's punching and shit. I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. Grinding-wise, even though I mentioned that this game's way easier than FES, it was still pretty fun. That, once again, could just be me. This whole video is just me personally, so if you know, disagree, it is what it is. Obviously, everyone's got a different experience. But I think I just got to the point where I like grinding in Persona no matter what. Because even with 1, I had fun with it. And 1 was way fucking harder than this. But maybe that's why. I don't know. Sometimes I prefer the easy grind. Sometimes I prefer the hard grind. I think it really depends on the game. With 3, I like both. Because this was easier, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Once again, can't speak for Portable or the original, because I haven't played them. I've heard that Portable's easier, but I don't know. I'm going to play Portable eventually, but I think I'm going to wait for the cutscene mod that is being worked on. Let me find what the team is, because I want to shout them out. The cutscene mod for Kotane, because if I'm going to play Portable, it's not going to be with Makoto. Just because I've already played with him twice. So I would want it to be with Kotane. Future Eddie here. Just wanted to add, because this kind of sounds dismissive of Kotane by saying, oh, I'm only playing with her because I've already played with Makoto. That's not really it. I was just yapping this whole video because, you know, it was a yap fest. But to add on to the reasons I want to play with Kotane, not only do I want to play with her for context of PQ2, because it just feels like I'm a little bit closer to her going into that, even though it's not a necessity, it's also just that I want to get to know her better in general. Why is she so beloved? I've heard a lot, but I just really want to experience her story, even if it's the same. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I just want to get to know Kotane specifically. So my bad for sounding dismissive of that. It is what it is. Let's move on. But yeah, I would love to play that with cutscenes, because that's something that kind of sucks that Portable doesn't have them. Having them see cutscenes would be fucking goated. So that's what I'm waiting for that mod, and then I'll play it. I've already bought the game on PS4. Played like 2 days of it, but like I said, gonna wait. Back talking about the grind. Sorry, a lot of fucking cutaways here. The script isn't as tight as normal. I'm just yapping. If you're someone who does prefer the grind, I don't think this would be like a deal breaker, because, you know, it's still like as challenging as modern Persona kind of is on the hardest mode. It's nowhere near how 3 was. I don't know how to explain it. Modern Persona is never going to be as hard as older Persona is the best way to put it, because after playing 3 FES, after playing 1, and then going back to 4, which I'm playing right now, and then Reload, is just not comparable. Even on the hardest modes, but the hardest modes still can be hard, I feel like, especially if you're not like super into the strategizing, grinding stuff. So I feel like it still pose enough of a challenge. I'm only saying it like this because it is being compared to FES, which could be my big flaw in this video, but we're already here. I was surprised that they got rid of the 10 extra floors or whatever for beating the Reaper, but I think they just exchanged those for the Monad doors, or Nomad doors, or whatever they're called, throughout Tartarus. And that was, I don't know, those doors were kind of just there for me. They were cool, like, they were kind of cool grinding spots, but I feel like they got kind of annoying. But it could also just be me, because every time I saw one, I felt like I had to go. I never didn't go when I saw them. And sometimes I just wanted to get to the top of Tartarus, man. I don't know how I feel about this. But speaking of Tartarus, segues, That shit looked clean as fuck the whole game. I thought it looked really nice, and it's making me excited for with the inevitable P4 remake, because I went back to play P4 and I was like, damn, I forgot the difference between new Persona looks and older Personas, because like Persona 5 Palaces, ooh, Persona 3 Tartarus now, ooh. I know them P4 dungeons are about to look sick as fuck. And this one, I also like the new gimmicks that they added in Tartarus, like the Greedy Shadow, because who doesn't like extra shit? The things you could grab like this in P5, you know, because who doesn't like extra shit? The clock thingy that levels your homies up, because who doesn't like extra shit? So yeah, Tartarus grinding was very fun for me, and I clicked in many a Persona. I do need to replay though. I didn't get Orpheus Talus though. I fumbled the bag. This seems to be a running gag in my Persona videos, because I always go in like, yeah, this time I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna do the ultimate Persona. I'm gonna do because, and I don't, because in my C-Back Persona 1 video, I fumbled ultimate Personas except for 2. Because if you haven't played Persona 1, it's not like everyone gets them through the story. Everyone gets Personas the same way you do, where you can get 3 different Personas. It's not like, oh, you get the wild card and everyone else gets just 1. So their ultimate Persona process is the same as yours, and you gotta collect like certain item for it and all this other shit, doing things throughout the game. And I fucked up on both routes of Persona 1. That's kind of a spoiler alert for the Snow Queen quest video, but yeah, it seems like I fumble the ultimate Persona every fucking game. So I've never had Orpheus Talos, not even when I played FES. So I'm gonna have to replay this shit again, but it's okay, because I want to fill out the compendium anyways. So yeah, moving on. This is another big one. OST. I like the OST, the new one. 2 legends can coexist. I get it. Yumi Kawamura wasn't there, but like, health. Also, I think the new singer was great. I didn't really have any complaints for the old songs, besides the frogs. The new songs were peak, but I get it. You know, this is a case of it being jarring, hearing something so familiar, yet so different. Like the iconic baby, baby, being baby, baby instead. But I don't know. It's not really a huge deal for me, because I actually kind of like the differences. For me, it's kind of like that one meme. It's not like, ooh, this cake is better than this one. No. It's more like, oh, nice. Now I have 2 cakes. Yippee! And I do want to add 2 more things that I actually didn't put in my scripts, but I just thought about. It's funny, because in the P1 video, it's like the exact opposite of it. Because how P1 fans see the PSP version, it's like, no, Yumi Kawamura. And then in P3 Reload, those fans are like, no, Yumi Kawamura. If you don't understand, it's 2 different ways that I just said it. In the P1, they didn't want her. In this one, we're sad that she's gone. Obviously, I love her in both of them, but that's just my own opinion. The other thing is, I don't think this is even gonna matter to new fans. You know, people that haven't heard these songs before, they're not even gonna notice. And, you know, like I said, 2 cakes. The old songs are still there to listen to. I get it. It's not in the game. It sucks, but it is what it is. Kind of similar topic, but let's talk about voice actors. I think the new voice actors did their thing. I had no clue what to expect going in, but OMG. Akihiko? My goat. Loved that voice. I think it was like Sai or something. I follow him on Twitter, and I didn't know until I saw Afro Senju playing, and then he was like, "That's my friend, that's my friend." I'm currently playing P3 Dancing. Video on that soon, and it's so weird hearing the old voices. I didn't realize just how different they are, and I still like both versions equally, even though they're very different. Like, for example, I'd say the original Aigis voice had that robotic voice that's still learning to be a human thing down. While in Reload, she just kind of already sounds pretty human. She just talks a little bit slower, but she doesn't really have that robotic thing going on. She just sounds kind of human the whole way through. And Fuuka's voice is very hard to explain. In the original, it has that like goofy, like Lemon's voice, and I love her. In the new one, it's like very bright and soft and cute, but they're both great as well. So it's another little example of, ooh, 2 cakes. That's how I'm explaining it from now on. Just Reload's another cake, man. And I love it. Now, something I wanted to talk about before we talk about the ending were the new choices that I did. I cheated on every fucking girl. I'm not gonna lie. Every girl. Normally, you know, first time I play a Persona game, I choose the one girl. When I played the original, I'm trying to think, who did I date in the original? Now I gotta look up everyone, because I don't remember who I did. Oh wait, I remember. I did Yuko. I like Yuko a lot, and I did her, and she was like an earlier one, right? And this one, I cheated and dated everyone. Although, in my canon mind, it was Fuuka. I love Fuuka, but, you know, unfortunately, I wanted to see every choice. I don't know. You know, surprisingly no consequences. I thought they would give us some, especially considering how unforgiving the original was. Oh my god, I didn't even mention that. That system's not there, like the reversing thing. Well, it might be for the dating ones, but like for the main social links, I didn't see any reverse social links except for like the ones that were already built in for the story, like Nozomi. But yeah, I don't know. Now this is actually spoilers. It's another choice, but it is actually spoilers. From here on out, I'm gonna be talking about the ending as well, so Leave if you haven't played this game. To be fair, you probably haven't understood any of this video if you haven't played the game, so sorry. Very shit video, but it is what it is. Spoilers. I saved Chidori this time. Yippee! And even though that's a yippee, it's still kind of obviously bittersweet because of spoilers once again. But yeah, time to talk about actual spoilers. The ending. Ending made me way more emotional this time than when I played FES. When I played FES, it was more shock. I thought somehow Yuki would pull through. This time I was expecting, dreading the inevitable. And I won't lie, I was a bit of a crybaby bitch at the scene this time around. I know exactly why. It's kind of weird reading the script now because it feels like it was so long ago. And it's just reminding me. But it was right after dealing with a huge loss of my own, just a month before. On my script, it says just a month ago. But yeah, it was like just a month before I finished the game. It really showed me what death is. That, you know, that feeling of never seeing someone again and the knowledge that everyone will meet that end. Because my brother died right before I finished the main chunk of Reload. So that was probably also kind of in the back of my mind. Because when I first played, you know, I hadn't gone through too many deaths that were super close to me. Obviously, there's like relatives you don't see that much. My dog was probably like the worst one so far. It's just an experience that I didn't have. So maybe having that now just made it hit all that much harder. I think it's a combination of new experiences since playing FES and just overall having more context of the scene going in. Those like the big combo. That was my fucking 2 spell cards together type shit. I don't know if I said this in my original, you know, beating P3 video, but the first time I beat this shit, it took me a minute to realize what the fuck actually happened. I was like, wait, why is he sleeping? My friend was laughing at me, and I was like, no, wait! He's not waking up! And then I got it. I got it. But yeah, that took a minute for me. And purely because of the ending, to be honest, I am once again here debating, is it over P5 for me? I don't know. Because on one hand, P5 will never invoke the feelings that P3 give me, especially because the ending. But that's not P5's fault. It doesn't have to. If every Persona game was P3, that shit would get boring fast. Each one has a different theme and all this shit. So I don't think just because this one's deeper lessens the impact that P5's has. It's just that P3's ending hits so fucking hard. But the whole experience of P5 is amazing. Not to say that the whole experience of P3 isn't amazing. It's just something that, I don't know. I'll have to replay it. I do plan to replay Royal soon anyways. Maybe I'll make a video on that when that happens. But yeah, at the end of the day, I love that each Persona game offers you something different, but with those familiar aspects. And it's just so much fun. Even Persona 1, the game that I was gaslit into staying away from, has plenty to offer. And it's just another reminder as to why I love this goddamn series. I think that's a good point to end the video. Why I love this goddamn series. But yeah, I gotta stop saying but yeah so much. That shit bothers me every time I say it in my videos. So, but yeah. That's been the Persona 3 Reload review. Do you like how discombobulated it was? Because my script was like really small bullet points and shit that I should have probably wrote out. Well, there's a few longer sections, but yeah, it was mostly just random shit like talk about this. Oh man. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button. If you didn't, smash the dislike button. I'm getting a little toasty in here, so I'm going to leave this room. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I am out. Peace. Future Eddie here again, even later than the last Future Eddie, but I forgot to mention this. The Answer. At the time of recording this, I still have not played FES Answer just because life and videos and busyness. And honestly, I have no clue if I'm going to be able to get to it before the Answer for Reload comes out. If I do get to it, obviously I'll make a video about the FES version of the Answer, like I promised in the FES video. If not, I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to end up playing it first, and I might just play the Reload version first. Either way, what happens, I'll let you know when I eventually make the Answer video. It'll be very obvious which one I play in that video. So just keep your eyes peeled. And yeah. Hope you guys have a wonderful day.